You can edit, right?
Yeah, for sure. Hold that key on your way out.
So what are we doing? Do we look at the camera?
Yeah, we look at each other. We look at the camera, whatever. I know, it's kind of weird. It really took me some time to like get used to this whole YouTube thing. And I'm still getting used to it because people record anything and everything.
Yeah.
Thank you. People record
I love you.
Anything and everything, and it's like sometimes I'm like,
yeah, like,
but people like it.
Yeah.
Like I record when you record like eating and stuff like that.
What, the ASMR stuff? You do it?
I haven't. It wasn't really ASMR, but I have to show you the video. It's a little short, and I put a song on it, like a music. Just one thought of you. Mm-hmm. So I put just one thought of you, looking at the meal, and then I just started like just different cuts of me eating, and it's like they get like 1.2 K views in a matter of a day.
That's weird. I don't know, but that's the whole culture now, right?
So it's weird. It is like a weird dynamic because you're like, I just pretend I'm like talking
to an audience. So.
I just pretend I'm talking to someone because I think, I mean, no one else listens to me.
And that's what I remember someone telling me, because I'm really bad with social media. Yeah. And I was like, it's weird. I'm great with presenting. Like I went and pursued a doctorate because I wanted to be a professional trainer. What do you call it? Professional trainers. God, I forget. Corporate trainer. And I love that. But like doing social and talking into the ether to a void is weird to me because I get my cues from my audience. Like, okay, am I losing them? Did they like that joke? Is everyone glossed over? Are they bored? Or are they ready? And like talking into a camera, it's just so weird. You just gotta,
I don't know. People fake it, but I'm not about faking it.
Should I look like a lady?
No, I don't care.
Not my thing. Like, I really am. This is me.
I don't care. Upawe kijamshika.
I love to. Oh yeah, you're the same way.
Like, this is like, I got on YouTube, and my YouTube personally, I want people to see the authentic me. Yeah. Because I'm not fronting for nobody. Because I'm just not one of those people. Like, I don't get on YouTube all the time and put on a face full of makeup and do this and that. Sometimes I'll be rolling out of bed. I'll my way to the kakana gym and then that's it. Yeah. But let's talk about your doctorate. Well, I'll do the whole introduction whenever I do the whole introduction. Mm-hmm. Because I actually was thinking about that. When we call you Dr. D.
Yes, ma'am.
Doctor means what?
So I have an educational doctorate. So my doctorate specifically is in higher education and adult learning. So as I mentioned, I thought I was going to be a corporate trainer. I loved training. I love training people. I got into education in my master's degree. My bachelor's degree is in Spanish. Mm-hmm. Was lost. I thought I was going to be a nurse.
You thought I was going to be a nurse?
I thought I was going to be a nurse, yeah. And then so speaking Spanish, speaking Haitian Creole, I thought, wow, that would be very, very beneficial. I'd be able to compete, but really help my patients because I knew I was going to come back to South Florida. Yeah. So, but then I pursued a doctorate in education because I thought I wanted to do corporate training. I really enjoy training people, especially on technical, like on using technology, processes, things like that. Like if I could learn it, I can bring it down to layman's terms to teach it.
No, you can. And that's why the kids love you so much. So we are here today with Dr. D. I am Francine, your host. And today we are, so I don't know if you know, because I know you're not really on social media.
No, ma'am.
So my Instagram name is ManifestUrBestLife. My planner is ManifestUrBestLife. So I just wanted to create a whole environment where I show people how I manifest my best life and how other people are manifesting their best life. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
So, to you, how are you manifesting your best life?
I mean,
and do you know what like manifesting? Because there's so many and most people don't understand what it is, and they think it has to be all spiritual, and it's not.
Okay, because for me, when you say how have I manifested my best life, like I'm not a vision boarder, but I understand that. I think it's for me, it's just that commitment to if I want something, I go get it. I get it done. I don't necessarily work by lists or physical checklists, but in my head, I know what I need to get done. So I commit to something. So I think for me, if there was a formula, how I've manifested my best life, especially in the last 3 to 5 years, it's been doing deep dives in research and then committing to something and going for it. But everything that I do, that I go down that rabbit hole for a while. I'm a low risk person. So I'm not taking chances on something to collapse tomorrow, for it to bring about a negative reputation. So for me, I research, I watch videos, I ask people, I read a lot. And then when I'm committed, because now I fully understand what I'm getting myself into, and then I'm just tunnel vision, like I'm completely focused.
So that is like, because when I was learning about manifestation, of course, it was all about spiritual this, spiritual that. And I'm more of a logical person, and I'm more of a go-getter like you are.
Yeah.
Right? We want it, we go and get it. So I didn't understand how to bridge the gap. But the textbook definition of manifestation is bringing a thought into reality.
Yeah.
So everything you just said, that's exactly what it is.
Absolutely.
So you have manifested, and you are manifesting continuously. But for real, you have manifested your dream life.
Yeah, like the whole micro school.
Your dream life.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
You worked in the system, the Collier County system. Why did you choose? Yeah, you better tell the people. You better tell
Why did I leave?
Why did you choose to leave? Like,
it's a lot of reasons. I'm really good at my craft. I'm a really good teacher. I'm really good at building relationships with kids and getting results. And the tough kids too. Like, I started my career with working at a residential facility for all boys. Like, it wasn't jail, but it was residential. They couldn't leave, and it was court ordered. And that's where when I finished my master's in education, having never been in a K through 12 setting, I'd always taught adult education. That's where I got my start, and then that's the last time also, it came full circle, the last time I was in the system.
Yeah.
I also ended in that setting with alternative schools here again, teaching math. But throughout all of that, I know I'm good at what I do, and I love what I do, but it's like kind of the bureaucracy of it all that I don't like. The politics, and I lose my creative edge because you're so much in a box.
Restricted.
Very much so.
Sorry.
And you have to, no, please,
Yeah.
give me the word. Because you have to ask permission to do oftentimes what's in the best interest of the children. Your curriculum, I mean, sometimes it's really good, and, if you're a new teacher, you need that to be scripted and the support and stuff. But I would say the number one reason I left is because when you're good at what you do, the system just eats you up. They give you more responsibility and less pay. I believe in a meritocracy. I was a professional athlete. Like, that's what I lived for. If I put in the work, I get the results. And the results was the recognition. It was making the podium. Professionally in track, you don't make money, at least in the throws, what I did. But you get what you put into it. And in education, it wasn't the case. It's like, the better you are, I still have that competitive. They offer you department stuff for like stipends. Like, what is $250 going to do for me? My family is growing, and I want more out of life in terms of quality of life. I'm not a tangible stuff person. I don't need material things, but I want to travel. I want to do things. I want to have experiences, and education didn't allow me to do that. The better I was at what I did, I got a lot more recognition, a lot more leadership opportunities. But the pay, it was just like, what is this? Even pursuing the highest level of education. So you leaving that pay behind, you have seen RIA, is it called?
Return
on investment?
Yeah, so you have seen
ROI,
that.
Yeah.
But that's the dyslexia in me. But you have seen that.
Yeah. I've seen a return on investment with everything that I do. If I'm out here and being my authentic self to parents has been the number one driver of enrollment. I have a great space too. Fran will share.
Yes, she has an amazing space.
But really, it's being my authentic self, sharing with parents my experiences. I never bash the school district because I'm a product of. I'm a K through 12 baby, NCCPS. School district has done a lot for me, a lot for my family. But it's, sometimes when you know better, you do better, or you do differently. And we're just offering an alternative. The crazy part is I jumped into the homeschool space, and I never even homeschooled, and I just started school.
Yes. Do you remember when we were talking?
Yeah.
And when we were talking, you were like, yeah, I'm thinking about homeschooling, and I was homeschooling Harmony.
I recall.
She's the reason why Harmony is never on these van trips with us. Because Harmony doesn't want to leave. Harmony
got a taste of Naples Micro Schools and was like, travel, what?
She doesn't want to leave.
That's true.
But I remember I texted you, I was like, hey, I was just texting to see if you ever homeschool. You're like, I started a whole school.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you go from?
Yeah, just that thought of I just want to homeschool my 13 and 11-year-old. For me, the goal with them was more acceleration. They're really bright boys. They were doing great. They were passing, with high scores on their state tests, but they were always waiting. And to hear my then 10-year-old say, we're just always waiting for everybody. And it's like, this kid wants to move forward and accelerate.
Let him move forward.
Yeah, and he couldn't because you're always being paced by a pacing guide, a teacher, or waiting for that one kid or couple kids to catch up so the teacher didn't move on and have to differentiate even more. So I told them we were going to homeschool. And then they're like, what about friends? That was their focus.
Yeah,
what about friends? And they're really social. They're great boys.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, then let's just start a school and then you'll have built-in friends. I also did it selfishly for accountability. If I homeschooled these boys, I probably wasn't going to roll out of bed. There were going to be days where I was just like, log in, guys.
There were days where I would be in bed and Harmony, okay, so hindsight is 2020. So Harmony has been telling her grandparents that I love school. I can't wait to go back to school. I love school. She was never singing that tune, that song. She was never singing that song before. But I homeschooled her, and it was such a horrible experience.
She was like,
when I homeschooled her, now she's with you. She doesn't want to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
So you left the school district during COVID, before COVID, after COVID?
I'm kind of on and off. So I was a principal in the district during COVID. It was a tough time, but it was a proud moment. I came back from maternity leave, had Isla, 3 months old, came back. It was 2 weeks before spring break, reclaimed my school, and then I knew about COVID. I was in bed after Isla was born in December reading about what was happening in China and thinking, why isn't anyone raising the alarms and stuff? I even went, after I got back, I traveled with her and I remember being like, God, I wish I had a mask. I was on a plane. So I was I had a keen awareness of what was happening internationally or globally. And then I even had a big staff meeting with the charter school company I was with, and no one mentioned it, but I was always that talker and nerd. So I was like, don't be the one, Diana. The meeting's already gone over. But I wanted to ask, what is our plan for this impending pandemic?
Because you've seen the vision.
I'm very much so forward thinking. I'm always trying to, because again, I'm risk averse.
Yes.
I'm always trying to mitigate risk. I literally would tell parents at the charter school when I was the principal that my job was to not make Channel 7 news daily. And that's how I operated, which is not healthy because it's high anxiety. But you're always looking for where the potential problems are going to be. Yeah. Whether it was student, it's mostly staff because adults are crazy, But yeah, so with
adults
COVID,
are worse than the students.
They are. So with COVID, I was a principal during COVID. The kids left, and then they never came back. But because I was forward thinking, I was probably the only one in this county who prepared my staff a full closure. I told my staff, they'll tell you, I said, let's prepare like the kids are not coming back. So during that week, while our kids were gone and my staff was still working, I had to clean every child's desk out, put everything in a bag, put their names on it, and line them up in our gym like our car line routine. So where the kids would usually sit.
So you were prepared before the shutdown even happened.
Prepared.
So everything was a lot more smoother.
Absolutely. And we just had parents come through car line, and when we had our radios.
What school were you at?
I was at Bridge Prep. I opened Bridge Prep.
Okay.
So when the car line happened, parents would roll through and we'd give them a bag of all their kids' content, every single thing. But that means their workbooks and consumables and everything, because we knew the parents that we served, they didn't have printers at home. We couldn't be pushing worksheets and say, download this and print this. So
some parents don't even know how to do that.
No,
that's the thing.
I was teaching parents literally how to not only log into Zoom, but the difference between capital letters and lowercase letters on a keypad, because our password to log into Zoom was lowercase ABC 1 2 3. But if they couldn't tell the cap locks was on, they would never make it in. It was crazy. But that's what being forward thinking and risk averse does. Yeah. In terms of manifesting your best life. Is really understanding what are all the risks, what are the potential barriers, but also what do you have to gain in the benefits, weighing those out, and then moving forward when the benefits far outweigh the risk and challenges. So
wow. So what did you get? Like a pat on your back and
for that?
Thank you. Yeah. Well, because to be ahead of that, that's really important.
I think what I got was a little bit more peace of mind than anyone else in the district. I did share that what we did with the superintendent, and they did it in the whole district. So that was a proud moment for me. They won't give me credit for it, but when teachers were in the district, they told me this is what they did, but they did it 2 weeks after I did. But I had shared it with the all the principals met. We had a principals meeting, and I shared that. But what I really got was a little bit more peace of mind. My daughter was home with me, and I was the only one in the district who also ran Zoom live. So when we did school, all of our kids saw each other. I knew that isolation was going to be horrible for our kids. So the least we could do, I was already on Zoom since 2017, so I was familiar with the platform. I was utilizing it for business. So the least we could do is get our kids on to see each other. And as somebody who, I went to school for PE, art, I went to school for electives. I was very good at English and reading, writing, still am. But for me, my outlet was the creative stuff, even though I wasn't good at it. So I made sure that we had PE, we had art, our 2 core classes, those outlets for a lot of kids. We had those on Zoom, and it was so much fun.
It was good because Harmony at the time, she was at Mason. So Mason, they were very prepared.
Good.
They were very, very prepared. So everything that you're naming, I'm very surprised, but they were right on top of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they called you up and they asked you, but they were very prepared. But like just the regular Collier County School.
I think it's because the school district is big. It's a behemoth. It's, to make those decisions on a wider scale is different, but at least at the charter school level, you could move, you could pivot. You're a little bit more agile. You can kind of still have to ask permission for your management company, but you're more agile and you have a little bit more autonomy as a school, a single school. So that's probably why.
Where did all the laptops come from? Does the school hold all those laptops
with our students? We had them in labs, so parents who didn't have them, we kind of broke down our labs and provided the laptops. So we had several rolling carts that we'd use for assessments and stuff. So our mobile lab, so we shared those with them. But yeah, so I was going back to your main question. I was with them during COVID, and then the company didn't know what they were going to do. And again, being a planner, having 2 kids in the system and an infant at home, I had to make the decision and choose family because we didn't really know how COVID was going to affect us, the children and the world. So I kept my kids out of school all the way through November, homeschooled them, and then, so I did homeschool. Just having that realization. I homeschooled while the district was giving the assignments. I had to create the routines and provide the support. So God, I homeschooled.
Look at you.
So I homeschooled them through November, and then we put them back in CCPS, after that.
So when you put them back in, were they doing better than before? Were they behind? Were they just right on mark? How were they doing when you put them back in?
I don't recall there ever being, I think it was pretty seamless. They were really missing the social part of it. In our household, I think we were just very educational, for lack of a better word.
Because of you?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Someone asked me what kind of parent you are the other day at football practice, and I said, I'm a teacher parent.
Yeah.
The same routine, structures, expectation that I expect in my classroom, I try to implement that at home because I know that gets results.
It's important, but not only that. You see, the problem that I think with society right now raising these kids is they think that they're just kids. But if you don't have them structured and disciplined now, these unstructured kids
become these wayward adults.
Before they even get to adulthood, right? They become these unruly teens or just and it's really not their fault because they were never taught these things. So then you're 18, 19 years old, 17, 18, 19, and you're in the real world and you're lost.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of part of it too. It's not only the rebellious teen, it's the failure to launch teen.
Yes.
To me, it's just the worst.
Yeah.
Because a rebellious teen has a goal, at least, which is their rebellion and whatever's calling them.
Yeah. That's me.
Yeah. Right. That's me. At least you can give a rebellious teen a failure to launch kid. You really, as a parent, do a lot of deep reflection. Where did I go wrong that this kid has no drive or motivation? That they think that I'm constantly reminding my kids that all of this that you see here, this palace, is not yours. It's not even your inheritance. Go get your own. Because as a second generation, as a first generation child of immigrants, we naturally have built-in drive and motivation.
Yes.
I gotta get out of this little tiny house.
Yes.
I'm uncomfortable here.
Yes.
I lack for everything.
Everything.
You know?
Yeah.
And though my parents did their best, and
you see them struggle so much.
Yeah, you see the struggle daily that you're
yes.
like, I don't want that life for me. And they always tell you they want better. But then once you, quote unquote, make it as the next generation, you often are deceived by thinking, well, my parenting style would be giving my kids all the things I yearn for. But what you end up doing is having a child who yearns for nothing and who has no drive, and they're living within this kind of box of privilege. So for me, I'm kind of always trying to take away things from my kids. I'm always trying to traumatize them a little bit, as I've told some people.
Hi, Shiloh.
Oh, there's one of
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. What's up?
Not much.
For recording. Hi.
Are you okay with?
Good morning.
Like if his face is on the camera?
I'm good.
Okay.
All right, head on.
I'll come talk to you later. Okay.
Okay.
That your relationship with my boys is so just cool. It's just so fun because they really love you. They miss you when you're not here.
You know, I was like,
morning
oh
hugs.
my God. You know, I don't know. I just feel like I'm very strict in a way. However, I want them to understand that we're not friends.
Right. I
ain't your friend.
Mine all the time.
But I understand where you, I've been through where you were in life, and I want you to know that I know where you were in life.
Right.
And I want there to be that connection, because sometimes I think as parents, if we put ourselves too high,
agreed.
You know, then your kids start sneaking and doing things. They're going to sneak regardless.
Right.
But when you have a kid that's so, sheltered.
Yeah.
When they get out in the world.
Oh, I've seen it.
It's a wrap.
I've seen it in college. I've had young athletes come, very sheltered. Some of them were private Christian schools.
Yup.
When they got to college, when we were on the track, they wild out. They didn't even make it through 2 terms, 2 semesters. It was wow.
It's all that. It's all the wasted money. It's all the time.
Yeah.
But more than anything, it's it's the shame that kind of comes with it. And then when you're that young at 20, 24, 25, sometimes it's very hard to lift yourself out of that shame, because you think where you're at is where you're always going to be.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just really try to be it's hard because I try not to be their friends, because I tell Harmony all the time, I'm not your friend.
It's my go-to.
I'm not your friend, but I'm the extended cool mother, if you get what I'm saying.
Right.
It's, I don't know, when you're a parent.
I'm there with you. With my boys, again, not your friend, but I'm very real with them.
Yes. Because
I educate my kids even on tough subjects, because if I don't, the world will, and they're going to give you their version. I want, and this is what I told the parents the other day, I want my truth to be out there first, or my version of what I believe and think and know, so that they're always testing what the world's telling them against what I tell them. But if you're not the first to market with that information, if you're not the first to tell them or share, they're always testing what you say against what the world has already taught them. So they're always well, I already have this foundational information, so is what mom's saying true? But now, because I tell them stuff very early on, share things early on, they're testing what the world's telling them against what I've said.
I have the sex talk.
Oh, I've had it.
You have to have it though.
You do.
Because imagine, think about how we grew up as little girls, just little kids in general, little kids in the Haitian household, the island household, or whatever the case is. You get your period and they hand you a pad so you don't get pregnant. I don't know what the hell my period is about.
It is, right?
You know? So and then you learn about sex through
friends
that don't know nothing.
Yes.
Films,
friends. Yeah.
So I try to.
The curriculum that we need to give our kids is our life's curriculum. And I've been very honest with my kids about things that have happened, things I've done. Mm-hmm. Just remember, I was a girl once, as I tell them. I was a girl.
And we know. Yeah. We're aware of what you guys are doing and what you're not doing.
The only difference is the technology.
Yeah.
Staying on top of what are the new apps where they could be going, because now it's not just having a pulse on where your kid is physically. Mm-hmm. They can be in their room all day, And back in the days, you're like, they're safe, you know where they're at. But now with them being in their room with access to the internet and the world, they could be in a whole nother kind of world, right? And in the safety of your home, which is really the danger. We assume that when they're here with us physically that everything's okay, and it's not. So being very aware of like the technology, what they have access to, what they're watching, what they're listening to.
You know what? Let's talk about AI. Because I have notes, but let's talk about AI because we're talking about social media. We're talking about just the social media space, technology. We're talking about technology, and I know you're very advanced in that. You put me onto ChatGPT, and ChatGPT has saved me.
That changed your life.
However,
yes.
So we've grown up with technology, right? But our kids now, they're growing up with technology as well, but it's a lot more advanced. So if you don't teach them how to think, how are they gonna know? Because like when I use ChatGPT, I don't use it for it to think for me. I use it for it to like just help put my thoughts, organize my thoughts or whatever. But I'm not going to ChatGPT because I don't know how to think.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
So like with these kids growing up now, how do we help them navigate technology, AI, ChatGPT, but still have a mind of their own?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, I think the key skills that we teach in English and writing, that's all still very, very important. Like opinion writing, right? How do you put together opinion, a thought, right? Informational writing. How do you pull information together to make it, whether it's persuasive or to be able to share information in a way that's factual and effective. So all that being an English teacher, that's still a key skill because all ChatGPT is a tool. At the end of the day, it's a tool to be able to think, but if you can't think, you're not going to make the most out of it.
Okay.
I being an English teacher, all we did was writing. It's my passion. I love it. You don't write a 400-page dissertation, not like writing.
Yeah.
But you have to know how to write a prompt. You have to formulate a prompt. But you also need to know how to parse out the BS. Because ChatGPT will gaslight you all day. ChatGPT will make you think that every idea that you have is a great idea, you know? So you also need to have what we called, before ChatGPT even existed, but there's still news outlets, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. They're still giving you information. There is still Wikipedia. There is still Google giving you information that you still had to parse out to be able to see
truth. We knew how to siphon that information.
Right.
How do we teach the younger kids how to siphon the information?
I think you still need to continue with education as it was, in the sense of teaching the core English class skills and things like that. You don't leave English class behind and jump to AI to write. You still teach the fundamentals. And then one of the key skills I don't think we do enough, because of testing, maybe because it's hard to teach, but it's called critical literacy. Critical literacy basically says, how do you go in and read a text and critique that text in a sense of telling truth, fact from fiction, seeing ineffectual writing for what it is, right? We have that whole, alternative facts?
That's a thing, though?
Yeah, I mean, it was a thing. It still is a thing.
Really?
Yeah. Alternative facts, right? Where it's just like, well, these are my truths and those are your truths.
No, okay.
So helping them understand, one of the key skills we teach in writing, writer's purpose. If you can tell what the writer's purpose is, it often tells you the basis of this information, how factual it can be, or where half-truths, non-truths could have made their way into it. So what is the writer's intent? Okay, if they're trying to persuade me into this, what is the person's background? Taking a deep dive, utilizing these tools and taking a deep dive and like, oh, okay, this is what they're about. This is kind of how they talk on social media. This is their speech. This is their perspective. But that's, again, a fundamental English language art skill. So don't throw out your ELA. Don't throw out your basic English 1, 2, 3, and 4, because while they are all technically the same thing, we just go deeper and explore different genres. 4 years of that is going to give you somebody who can engage in critical literacy and who can enter prompts or generate prompts for AI to give them better information. I check AI all the time. Like, listen, you missed this. You dropped that. I love that ChatGPT has that down at the bottom.
Yeah.
It can give you wrong answers. Yeah. Please check important information. Check the important and check non-important stuff too. Because it's a computer, and every model is only as good as what we put into it, and it's generating information from humans. Humans make errors.
You see, one of my friends taught me that. He's one of them nerdy smart people. And he's an engineer. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't understand the whole, like the technology. And he's like, you have to understand there's a human that's inputting the code to give out that information. Mm-hmm. So it's still only as smart as we put into it.
And it's not only as smart. One of the biggest things you have to consider is only as unbiased as the person who put it out. Right? So they're constantly, I think especially in the early advent of AI, I was seeing jobs out there for people who are prompt writers and analysts for the responses ChatGPT, or let's say AI, because ChatGPT is just its own generative model, but there's different ones. It was they were looking for people to analyze the responses. How accurate is this? So they're aiming towards perfection, and the more information it gets, the better. But it's who's giving the information. If AI is coming from the United States and in a particular population, a particular demographic, it's going to have that slant. It's going to have that bent towards that way of thinking. And so that's what you always have to consider. So for me, that's what a good teacher does. A good teacher says, here's a tool. Here's how you utilize the tool. Here are the shortcomings of this tool. Mm-hmm. Swiss Army knife, great. It can do da, but here's what it can't do either, and this is where you're going to have to go off on your own and find that tool, right? There are things that a Swiss Army knife, though it's a multi-tool, can't do. So you've got to be able to think about that and consider that. And I think that's what a good teacher does with AI. It says, first and foremost, do you have a strong enough English language arts background, reading background, to think critically, to generate prompts? And then once you're there, this is how the tool works. Let's play with it. Let's have a lot of fun, but understand its shortcomings too. Because, like I said, it'll gaslight you. Every idea is $1 million idea.
You see, I guess I just don't use it in that way. Yeah. So I use it as like
an organizing your thoughts.
I need a YouTube title. Mm-hmm. Give me a good catchy YouTube title that has this and that. Yeah. So I guess I just don't use it in the way
other people
as advanced as other people would use it.
And it does so much more, and I think a lot of us can't even begin to understand what it can do. So we're just exploring, and we're that early years, but there'll be kids who grew up with it at its best, and
and it's scary.
But I think our job is to keep up. It's not just being closed and afraid.
Yes.
I call ChatGPT Chad, like he's my bestie. Like my assistant Chad generated this, and then the first time I got introduced, I was going crazy. I was in bed typing prompts. Now I'm a little bit more controlled and managed. Yeah. But I also realized the more information I give it, the better the responses are.
Yeah, it can hone in and put you in the lane that you need.
But we've always known that. There is this thing about crowdsourcing. I wish I had the information, but I've told the story a couple times where back in the 1830s, I don't know, it was way back in the days before technology and all that, a guy would stand on a stage and he'd have a thing of marbles or a really overweight person. Yeah. And be like, guess this person's weight. And the crowd would shout out numbers. And what they found is over time, with enough people's input, they would get really close to the right answer, right? Mm-hmm. And to me, that's the same thing that ChatGPT is doing. With more information you give it in your prompt, and the more information that's added to the actual, systems that it's pulling from, the better those answers become, right? So, as we're entering prompts, and I'm sure somewhere in the fine print, it's able to use that. Yeah. But for going back to the education part, I think it's just an awesome tool that kids should use. Could you imagine when we were growing up, if somebody told us not to use Google? Google saved our lives.
Yeah.
Google it. It became its own verb. What are you gonna do? I'm going to Google it. It's something you do. So to me, AI is just that next jump. You have to take leaps. You have to evolve. AI is just that next jump for this generation. They're going to put it into chat.
With certain industries. I can't even say with certain industries. I feel like it's definitely the person. You have to seek that knowledge and you have to seek that understanding. Because I was going to say with certain industries, I'm a hairstylist, I'm a hair cutter, I don't really need, in the past, we didn't really need to know all of these things. Yeah. But since social media has became a thing and you're trying to go viral to make money also, whatever the case is, now more people are using the AI for this, that, for the learning, for the teaching, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's a tool.
Give me a second. I want to make sure it's still recording. Oh. Yeah, 35 minutes in. You good? Okay. You need water?
No, I'm good.
Okay. It's funny how I'm offering you water.
Yeah.
Okay, let's circle back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What is a micro school?
Oh, what's a micro school?
It's
funny. I knew you were going to ask that question. I was like, dang, what's the answer to that? So micro schools, I would say, first of all, it's a movement. It's a movement in itself to be able to change education. So, it's, if you diagnose an issue, you prescribe some sort of cure or medication. And micro schools are that. There's definitely an issue with public education, from class sizes to testing, to not being able to ensure that all kids are seen, celebrated, and heard in that way, but that their needs are being met. So micro schools are that response for that. It's let's go smaller, let's revisit that one-room schoolhouse model that we knew worked back in the days, but I think in a lot of ways making that better. So micro school generally is about 10 to 160. I believe, keeps it micro. So I'm kind of midway micro.
160?
Yeah, would still be considered a small school.
Because she just expanded her space.
Yes, I did.
She just expanded her space. How many students do you currently have now, and how many students are on the wait list?
I opened our doors with 17 students that first day. Very grateful for those parents who trusted us, because I didn't know what I was doing. I talked a good talk. But like I used to tell them, new to micro school and homeschooling, not new to leadership. So I think that definitely helps.
You still say that.
Yeah, I opened the school from scratch, and it was like I was beholden to the state, the district, and my charter school company, plus 250 odd parents. So I've done this before, but it was really nice and a relief to do it for myself, and in a way that was a lot more healthy and paced.
How are you feeling right now? Like, how do you feel?
Still a little anxious because I'm a doer, a little bit of a perfectionist. I have things I need to accomplish, so still a little bit anxious because it's of the growth we're experiencing. It's ongoing. Like, you can't just rest and put things into that kind of like cruise control mode because of that growth, and I'm okay with that. Like,
how do you navigate? Because it's a lot. It's a lot trying to building something. You have your husband. Yeah. You have your kids. You got you have family. Then you have your friends. Like, how do you navigate it? Because I know it's just difficult trying to live your dream and build your dream, yet keep your head still intact.
Yeah, like it is difficult, especially because your dream highly impacts your family, because our micro school is on our property. So it's like they're living it. I've displaced my family to grow the micro school.
A few times.
Yes, a few times. But, I think they've all bought into the vision. My kids thanked me for opening a micro school. That was like, they wrote it in my yearbooks. Aww. This year, Shiloh did, and Brockton has thanked me. But I have to keep them obvious in mind, and they're helping clean and set up and do. But one thing I learned is that when we talk about work-life balance, that's just it's false. It's a myth. It's not true.
Why so?
You can't balance. You can't have equity on both sides. You can't give work the same amount that you give home, and vice versa. But one thing I read that I really liked was work-life harmony. So, but work-life harmony is about saying, I understand that this week, this month, I gave my all at work, kind of neglected my family, but being very clear and intentional and saying, now to reharmonize and strike a balance for better word, I'm going to now take 2 weeks to focus on my family. Yeah. So going into expanding this summer, I was very intentional about, before we do, I was intentional about planning 2 really big vacations for my family, and what I did was we did a hard push for facilities. We were changing facilities. We were gonna tire ourselves out. We're gonna be completely knackered by the end of this thing, and then we'll go on a vacation. Yeah, and we'll spend quality time together. And then we came back from that 7-night cruise. Yeah, right. Yeah, refreshed, and it was great. But we worked really hard before, but then and then we rested. Then we came back, we did the same, and then we went to Texas for 3 or 4 days. So I've been a lot more intentional about balancing like vacation time when we're away, because having it here, you're still working.
Because you're home.
You're home. It's one of the biggest problems about having a micro school on your property, because you can't really get away from it. And it's one thing to have a business that's like in an office and work from home on your property, because you can leave that office. But my entire property is the school. It represents the school. So when I go in the outdoor kitchen and it's a mess, I'm like, hey, I've got students coming or a tour. Clean this up. So it's been really hard for my kids to also live. Because I'm like, guys, we cannot have a heavy footprint because our home is also our school.
It's hard. It's hard. On a smaller scale, I used to do hair from home, and I try to separate it. But you get the exact everything that you're saying. Oh man, I can't leave this a mess for a day because someone's coming in, or someone might come in. Mm-hmm. Or for me personally, some of the issues that I had is like people think they could drop by whenever they want, or because they know you're working from home, they'll call you up and be like, hey, blah 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 blah. So for me personally, it was hard to structure it, to set the boundaries. It was hard to set the boundaries, to be like, I'm at home. This is my time at home, and that's just what it is.
Right.
So,
and for me, I can't shut it down. I do have a goal of like living on the property. I'll be honest. I'm like, because at least we could go home, have dinner, and we can't go feed the cows and chickens, and even just the animals, like what they take from us, and stuff. So, that's definitely a challenge. I do want to answer that question that you had about how many students.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, I
got so excited. You're really good at this. You're really good at this, because this is the second time I've asked the question. We've veered off, and you're like, let's double back.
That's the teacher energy. Like, hey, you're not going to get away. I do that to my kids all the time. They're like, I don't know. Like, I'm coming back to it, and I do.
Yeah, you're really good with
Until my student understands that, be ready.
Yeah.
Be ready.
Yes.
And I'm okay. I give my kids think time, to think, but just know that I want you to think.
Yes.
So I had a couple, so anyways, that's probably why I've honed that skill for like 20 years. But I was going to say, we opened with 17, and then we were at 63.
Where are all these kids? Because
I have small class sizes. First of all, my biggest class is 12 kids.
Every time I talk to you, you're telling me about all these kids. And I'm like, in the morning I drop Harmony off.
And you don't see it.
And I'm like, where the hell are these kids?
That's the thing. At 6, it can seem like a lot. Well, last year, let's talk about the 4. It can seem like a lot, but there are a lot of sibling groups.
But you structure it well.
Yeah, I think I'm really big on operations and the flow of things. And I am worried about the first days of school drop off. I'm like, oh God, Caroline. Trying to figure out Caroline and drop off and all that. But I think when you focus on operations, kids can learn when the environment is familiar and things flow smoothly, and your teachers can do their jobs, and they'll stay because they're like, this is so low stress. It's a wash and repeat. I was surprised. I think mid-year I remember being out at lunch with Sydney and Deb and them, and I was like, the kids keep coming back, and we do the same thing every day. Nobody's bored, especially the big kids who have choice.
Love you. I've talked to many parents, and all the parents are saying the same thing. They want to be here. Like,
that brings me a lot of joy.
They want to be here. They want to learn. Like, you figured it out. Like, you already had it figured out, but you put it in a way that it really works for the kids.
Yeah, I think.
Because nowadays, like, seriously, kids are not excited about going to school.
I know. And I've heard that from parents.
It's
heard
important.
that about the criers. The kids used to cry. Now they cry because they don't want to leave. It's like, it's 2 o'clock. You got to go. You've already been here for 6 hours. They schedule play dates. They come to school, and then they make one little friend, one of my kids, and they're like, can we stay for 2-3 more hours?
Boy, like, kids get me so mad because they're always planning something.
So, yes, they are.
We're never involved.
No, they plan together, and then they tell us, like,
and then we have to figure out we're scrambling trying to
the logistics of it. But yes, I think that makes me very proud when the kids want to come, especially the big kids, because what I found is, kind of unfortunately, a lot of kids have a lot more say in their education than I think they should. like some of the parents can be easily swayed to change schools, unenroll, something gets hard, tough, and it's just like,
you gotta stick it out.
Yeah, like they're picking up and going very easily. You know, the kid complains about they're crying, you know, and I get it. There are certain environments that aren't healthy and your kids aren't doing well, but like as a parent, I think we need to exercise a little bit more authority in that area to say, this is where I want you to be and it's going to be good for you. There are going to be challenges. I'm not immune to having middle school issues. Yeah. I try to mitigate those early on with like, we don't have a lot of those transitions. We don't have hallways for kids to mess around. I'm on top of, we don't do cell phones in school. So like this whole texting stuff, if it happened at home on somebody else's watch.
But you said on top of everything.
I try to.
You're literally always on top of everything.
I'm still living at that don't make Channel 7 news.
Like seriously, okay, so you have, when you started, it was 17,
and we grew again in December. Like you guys joined us in the winter, and then we grew again in like January, February. But the craziest growth that we experienced was like, all right, team, we're going into fourth quarter. We have 3 more months of school. Let's just lock it in. This is what I literally told my guys. Lock it in. This is about it. Our rosters are our rosters. Like, we're not going to get any more kids. Oh my God, the flood of families that came in that last quarter. I'm like, are you sure? Like, really? That's 3 months.
Do you really want to be here?
I even had a family join us like 3 weeks before school, but it's what they wanted. And it was great. I think people were realizing either as a parent, they were really struggling to establish a routine, or they were bringing them to other places and they weren't making good on their promises.
Are you proud of yourself? No, hold on. Don't answer.
I want you to hold on to my seat.
I want you to relax a little bit. Yeah. I want you to like really seriously take it in, because me and you are very similar. We're go-getters. We get what we want, and we're just right.
Yeah, we don't pause to reflect on what
when it comes down to it. You don't know how many people I've met on the road. And it makes me emotional every time I think about it, because I'm like, I'm struggling. Yeah. Y'all don't know how bad I'm struggling, just, you know, and how bad I've struggled to build the van and so on and so forth. But so many people have come up to me. They've asked, they, you know, oh my God, you got this one, you got that. Oh my God, this is my dream.
Right. I hear that all the time.
This is my dream. So, and I really sometimes don't take time to realize what I've accomplished, and to be like, to look in the mirror and be like,
I did that.
Ninja, we made it. So I really want to know, like, you know what, you know, just, are you proud of yourself?
Oh God, it's so funny you say that, and my first reaction is like, hold on to your seat, are you? Of course, I'm proud of myself. I don't take enough time to acknowledge what we've accomplished. I think one of the best ways that we were able... I was the most proud of myself when on the last day of school, the yearbook came out and I saw everything we'd accomplished. And I remembered every child that we served, even the ones that may have left, or, you know, or the ones that came 3 weeks before a yearbook was even made and they made it in the yearbook, and all of our field trips and things like that. That was what really helped me kind of establish that pride of accomplishment. Yeah. Because when you're in the full throes of it, you don't have time to celebrate. You don't have time to give yourself a pat on the back. You don't have time to wait for that for other people either, that affirmation from other people. And I get it all the time, because like I meet my parents at the door almost daily. I get like, thank you so much, and I'm like, you know, my pleasure. I talk to parents all the time, so I get like those moments of like, you're really doing a great job. Yeah. And I don't take compliments well, so I'm kind of like, oh,
but you really, 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 really are, because I've only known you. It hasn't even been a year yet. No. It hasn't even been a year, but like I sit back and I first of all, you're halfway living my dream life, because I don't want to be no teacher dealing with no kids. I love kids, but like I'll be someone's kid. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Like
I be called for.
I don't have time for that. Like anyway, but you're doing it in your home. You have land. You have tiny homes. You have animals. You're teaching with the animals. You're teaching the kids the animals, and it's not even only about living other people's dreams. like, you seriously manifested your best life.
I did, and I think one of the things that we haven't mentioned is the fact that I'm in a Christian environment.
Yes.
So yes, I manifested. We should have led with that, but I manifested my best life in a way because that's all God. Like the divinity in this whole thing, and you can go ahead and edit and bring this to the forefront of the video because when you really look at God's hand and what's happened, we started with an Airbnb that was already like a friend had suggested it, and we were doing glamping in our backyard. But when we look at our layout of our school now, we're like, God knew. But by doing that Airbnb, we set ourselves up for hospitality to receive people, but to also create a certain level of privacy. Yeah. So everyone had their, private little tiny houses and stuff because we're agritourism. We have the animals. We are a legitimate farm. We sell what we have, animals and plants. And we set up for hospitality. And then we also, as a family, we're very conscious of when families come. We want our land to be that attraction. Kids come here and they play on the playground and the zip line, they don't want to go.
They don't want to leave.
They don't. I've had parents come from France or travel abroad or wherever. We had a lot of European families come and do glamping in our barn, and then the kids don't even want to go to the beach because everything they were looking for is here. But that's all God. Because the layout and everything was like, man, we were perfect for a school because God had already had a plan. We didn't even know it. So when we laid
walking in the
down,
path and didn't even know
and we walk in that obedience, and then, you tell God what you want. And what I always yearned for at the end of the day was creative licensure, that creativity. I wanted to be the one to make those creative decisions. Yeah. And that's probably on top of not being in a merit-based environment for education, the creativity. They lost me when the challenges were solved. Then I'm like, well, what's my purpose here?
There's Bible study every week. Every week.
Yeah.
Okay.
We pray every morning. Yes. Our kids are assigned prayer. They pray. They practice praying. It's so funny. It's so cute to hear kids pray because you're so random. And some of them you're like, oh my God, you're called to ministry. Yeah.
So how do some of their prayers sound like?
Like really kind of robotic sometimes. And they're like, I'm close. The animals to have a good day. And then an eye opens. They peek an eye open like, who's watching? And I go, And then like some, but some will be like, yeah, I pray for, this person who's sick. But I love when they start to pray for each other and over each other. And then when they remember us as the guides and they pray for us, it's just such a beautiful thing because prayer is so personal. And they're praying for the group and they're praying openly. So we always just encourage them to just pray for what's important for you. And then they'll pray for safety. It's really cool. Because to be in education for over 20 years and not be able to do that.
Yes. Yes.
I remember the first time I was setting up like these little bookshelves in our flex room or zen room over there for the kids, and a Bible. One of my kids' Bible slipped into the pile. And I say slipped in because I didn't intentionally put it there. It was in the book bin. And I'm fixing these books on the shelf and I put it in. I was like, wow. And to be able to keep pushing it in, because if I was anywhere else, I'd have to take it off that shelf, felt really good. It was like one of those moments where you're like, I can keep this Bible on the shelf, Whereas if I was in a traditional education setting, I'd have to pull the Bible off the shelf. And it was just that simple.
So I have one more question for you, and then I have just a little game. Okay. It's just a little quick game. So I asked this question because Lord, please, you guys, if I say anything that's wrong, don't take my neck off. Don't take my head off.
What is it?
But you have students that have autism, Down syndrome as well?
No, but I have a little boy that has Down syndrome that I want to come to my school so bad.
Okay, so
he's so cute. I actually I want to call his mom and be like, just bring him for free. I don't care if you don't want to pay. Just certain kids bring, my kids with autism. I have a student who's had 13 brain surgeries, so he kind of presents with symptoms of what an autistic child would, but it's because they literally had to take parts of his brain out for to manage the seizures. But they bring so much value in this environment.
So I didn't understand. Okay, because Harmony would come home all the time, and Harmony would tell me about, dang, how can I forget her name?
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
What's her name?
Camilla.
Oh, yes. Yeah. She would tell me about Camilla all the time. And I'm like, you're in class with Camilla. And she's like, yeah. And I didn't understand why that you mixed all the kids together, kids that have special abilities and then kids that do not have special abilities.
We call them typical, like a typical, and then a unique abilities. Yeah.
So, what's the purpose? Why?
The compassion, the understanding other people, the slowing down and appreciating your cognitive abilities. Because I told my kids all the time, I had a student say something a little bit, it wasn't rude, but kind of borderline. To one of my students, I said, you could be there at any time. Just because you weren't born cognitively with any cognitive issues or challenges doesn't mean that you can't be there, or a family member can't be there. A bad car accident, something happened to you, a slip and fall, a seizure, a medical diagnosis that comes about in your teens or in your 20s. So I think, so I was constantly reminding them that could be you too, but that compassion that they show. When Camilla is in the room and we're playing a Kahoot game together, and the way they bring her in, and
she's good.
She's good.
She's good at Kahoot because Harmony told me she was good at Kahoot.
And then it's the surprises. Here they are with normal cognitive faculties, what we call typical kids. And then Camilla's playing the piano, and they're like, that was beautiful. Yeah. Understanding that just because she has challenges in other places doesn't mean she doesn't have some strengths, that she'll outdo you all day.
She outdoes all the kids.
Exactly. So I love that. I think it creates a balance. Our students come with their therapists, their RBTs to school, which I'm just grateful because I know Collier County School doesn't let them RBTs come to school, so I'm grateful to have an environment where we can do that.
So you really, truly call all the shots?
Here?
Yes. 1,000%.
Yes, within the bounds of what the state will have.
On the land, but other than that, there is no one telling you what to do, how to do it, when to do it. You create everything yourself.
I do, and I'm very collaborative. So once I've created a framework of what is non-negotiable, I bring my guides in a lot.
Of course,
obviously parents too. In that sense, but there's a framework that I've set because research. Because when I was, manifesting this concept with God's support and divine hand, I did a lot of research, so I knew what the framework needed to be. So I call those shots because I use discernment, and I definitely use research and logic to make those decisions. And at the end of the day, what's in the best interest of the kids, right? What's in their best interest? What does the research tell me? I don't have to know everything. I just got to go know where to find that information. And that's what I truly believe. Yeah. So, yes, it makes sense. I have kids with autism. It's not an environment for every child.
Yes.
I've had one, it didn't work out, and I was like, thank God. She had some challenges that we just could not help. We couldn't,
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Very clear. I can't do, I'll just talk to the camera. We can't do elopers. We can't do kids who are runners. I've got 2.5 acres. I've got a busy street out front.
Yes.
I can't do that. Biters and, kids who are working on some serious behavioral issues. I'm not that environment to be able to modify that. Yes. But we can work with children who are building up their tolerance to be in a social environment or a school environment. We've had some kids with autism where they're kind of coming here for practice, right? But most of the kids who come here, it's for the social. Their therapists can handle some of the school academic work, teaching independence at home, how to brush your teeth, do laundry. But you can't teach social skills without a social environment. You can't put up little puppets and dolls. And a lot of the scenarios are really just as they happen. You're teaching the kid how to handle it on the playground. Give personal space.
But that's how you learn. That's how you learn. That's how you learn.
That's what we're giving those families, is a real, true social environment with kids that are developmentally the same age as that child, so that they can have those rich interactions where the learning can happen. So we have a few kids. We only have a limited spots for Skills Quest because we're, their needs are especially higher, and then they're bringing in another person with them daily to school.
Because I had that question. I just didn't understand it. And, when you don't understand things, you ask.
Yeah.
That's the only way to understand.
I love the fact that she was going home talking about her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I wanted her to
what's his name? What is,
Josh.
It's not Josh, the Spanish kid.
Oh, the little one? Is he younger, though?
He's younger. He's not in the middle school class.
Corral?
Yes. Yeah. That's my guy.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
He's so sweet. He's learning a lot. He definitely needs
That's my guy. Oh, this is a good. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, like, with him, it's funny because his social skill is not like staying away; it's like being really close. That we're working on, like bubbles and stuff. So
you know what I realized? Like, you know why kids are so attracted to you, and this is working for you? Mm-hmm. Because kids, especially, they pick up on your spirit. They pick up on the spirits of other people. So that's why they never want to leave this place. Yeah. Because they know that this is a welcoming spirit, a God divine spirited place. Yeah. Because if that was the case, you would have people walking in and out of this place. Yeah. 24/7. Even people that are not financially able, because I talk to other parents, I don't know why, parents love talking to me, but whatever, right? Even parents that are not financially, they wouldn't necessarily be financially able to have their children in this school, make a way to have their children in the school. Yeah. That says a lot. Yeah. That really, really, really says a lot. Oh. Do you believe more Black families should consider alternate schooling?
Great question. Absolutely. I think it's if we know it's a good thing, then we need to make sure that there's equity and access. Right? So absolutely. I mean, it's funny, I'm Black, but I'm serving majority white families. Yeah.
So do you believe, forget the Black. Do you believe that this is the way of the future?
I think it's the way for a lot of families and kids. Okay. I think homeschool is not for everyone in the sense of not everyone has the capacity and ability, but I think that what should be for everyone is a knowledge that it's an option. So it's like, I may not exercise that option now, but when I need it or when I find myself in a place where it's going to make sense for my family, then I need to know that it's there and know how to access it. So I'm a public school baby, like I've told you. Public school is going to work for some kids. It's going to work for even a lot of kids just from a numbers to scale point of view. But if I'm a one of 6 kids, if for 2 of us it didn't work, my parents needed to know that this was an option. Yeah. But as being immigrants, the literacy issue, the language barriers may not ever, this option of homeschool may never make it to their doorsteps. They never know in terms of knowledge. So I think in terms of access, that's the issue.
I think you're,
Okay. Yeah. In terms of access.
Do you want to say something to me really quick? Yeah, just really quick. That's more important. Get your points.
Take a minute and then explore the classroom, and I'm going to wrap up with this for next week.
Yes, all right. Yeah. I just want to let you guys know, once they explore the place, they're not going to want to leave.
They're already committed.
Yeah.
Good.
And then I'll grab Brock and Shiloh for you guys. All right.
So,
all this time I could have put that light on.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So what were you saying? Do you remember?
I don't remember. The last question was about just access, homeschool.
Yes.
So all I was saying was that basically we need more opportunities for Black, brown people to know that it's an option. Yes. I think our homeschool environments, our micro schools should be kind of a microcosm of what the outside looks like. So the same level of diversity. If you've got 13% Black demographic, in your area, then 13% of your school should be Black or Hispanic or white, whatever that is. That I think really shows if there's equity. Yeah. More Black and brown families, because I think it's important for kids to see. I want this to be that place where kids see kids from different socioeconomic backgrounds. We've got that. We've got parents who are here and here. But then definitely, I want them to have friends and those experiences with other Black and brown and white kids, and understand that this is the way of the world, and that everyone's different, and that this only matters to an extent.
Yes.
That melanation doesn't only matter to an extent, and so that's important for me for my kids. But I think it's also pretty cool to be a Black entrepreneur, school owner. I think I surprise a lot of people that way. Black educator.
This is the new thing. Harmony will teach you about it.
Okay. The small class. Yeah, just to be like the head of schools as Black and Black Haitian, child of immigrants. And then we have a farm. And I think in a lot of ways we're kind of blowing a lot of people's minds because of their, we tend to be put in boxes. That's what our mind does. It compartmentalizes things. So it kind of surprises people. It's like, you're doing what? And you own this? And sometimes people even ask us, did you buy it? I'm like, no, we did it from scratch. They can't believe that we could have done this.
Did you buy what?
The farm and just operating it as opposed to building everything out ourselves. Yes, it's just a generic question.
What is the future? Where do you stand? What does your future look like? Where does the future of this? Because I know you just purchased land.
Yes.
And they purchased a big old bus outside. I'm going to show you guys later. So you purchased land so that kids can have a natural environment. To go, and it's in the Everglades, correct?
It's out there behind Paradise Coast.
Okay.
It's accessible. We're only maybe 12 minutes away.
You know, I still haven't. I have to drive by there one day.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Yeah, we have to go there. Yeah. So I know you have that. I know you have the bus that we're gonna convert, and I'm definitely gonna help you convert.
Awesome.
To build a science lab, but within the next, I'm gonna say 2 because you're growing so fast. I don't even want to say 5.
Yeah. 2.
Within the next 2 years, where do you see yourself?
I see myself.
Where do you see?
Naples Micro School?
Naples Micro School, where do you see your family? If you can just...
I think I'm a doer, so I'm talking 6 months probably opening another campus.
Yes?
Because I have a wait list.
Where?
Where?
Somewhere.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out now. But why did God give me the name Naples Micro Schools, plural? I could have been Naples Micro School and had a singular campus. I chose Naples Micro Schools. I bought the domain. I own that. That's our school, so I want to have another campus.
Okay.
I feel bad. There's an economic part of it, of course. But to tell people no all the time kind of hurt my feelings. Got a wait list, got a family, and everyone's got a story as to why this is the right environment or why they're leaving. And I'm like, man, I wish I could serve you, and I can't. So I'm considering in the next 6 months opening another campus because I did see growth. Our growth was exponential in the second semester. So just because we didn't open our doors and don't open our doors in August, I still think that we'll have a place, we'll have families that we can serve. But what I'm really excited about is that land. So we're opening Wildspire. Okay. And Wildspire is a place where nature leads to play. Okay. Where kids can come out into the woods. They will be prompted, or their imaginations will be sparked by a story. Some of the classics or contemporary stories. I'm still an ELA teacher, and then we do a little circle time in our story hollow, and then we send them out into a wooded area to play with different loose parts and things like that for them to spark their imagination. A lot of kids don't have that. They're living in these very what's the word I'm looking for? These environments that are just.
Is it robust?
No, it's the fact that the environment is just you're living on a gated community with a 0.25 acre lot without opportunities, and they're very, there's a word I'm looking for, I can't think of it. And they don't have these opportunities to play and get dirty and get wet and play in the mud.
That's very important.
And I want to provide that because there's a certain rest, even though you're playing and you're busy, there's a certain peace and rest that you get from being within nature. So that's what Wildspire is. So we'll dedicate about 2 acres. Of the 5 acres for just kids play, and of course it's supervised and we have our rules and stuff, but it's unstructured free play, so the kids can just really let their imaginations run wild within a few safety confines, our boundaries. So that's what excites me right now. So I'm already on to my next project, so that's why I'm just keep this moving.
Thank you, God.
Get things going so that we can get Wildspire opened in December, hopefully.
I just want to say thank you. We have to wrap this up because I'm happy. I came prepared and I barely had to use any of my notes because, it was just a good flowing conversation, and you're so passionate about what you do that it, God led you or leading you, and it just comes out it just comes out. But I want to say thank you because you didn't hesitate when I asked you to be my very first guest on
Am I the first?
You're the first.
Wow.
Harmony was supposed to be the first, but the way that things were done, I was like, you know what? Because this is important. People need to, you want people to know that there's a different option. Yeah. There's so many people that they're just not aware. They're just not aware. So thank you for taking the time out of your day, for letting me interview you, for us having a conversation that the world can see.
Well, you're welcome.
Because it's important. What you do is important. What you do, because there's many people out there that they're like, oh my God, that's what I want to do. Mm-hmm. You know, like it's like a light bulb. Sometimes when they see other people talking about certain things or whatever, it like sparks something to lead them down the path that they need to be led down. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I can't wait till this pop off so I can actually like really help you the way that I want to help you. Grow and expand, because there's many times that I'm like, oh my God, I would help so much, but I got this to do and I got this to do. You know, but I cannot wait till I can actually, you know, have some of the funds to help. You know, like, no,
well, seriously. You've done so much too. First of all, thank you for choosing me to be your first. I didn't know. I would have been more nervous. Thank God you didn't tell me that. But no, thank you for allowing me to be your first. And this is our first time seeing each other since you've been on the road. Yeah. So I was excited to see you. Yeah. We have a lot to still catch up on.
Before we went on the road, they did like a her and her husband, Dr. D and her husband, did like a going away little barbecue for us. It was so good.
It was a nice little send off for you guys.
Thank you for embracing my daughter.
Love her.
And for embracing us and for teaching us and for giving us great advice that we could take forever. Like your husband, like he really talked to Judans and like a man-to-man type thing. But you guys have been married for 15 years, and like we're newly like, you know, getting into this. So thank you for being a great mentor, a great friend, a great person that I know that like if I need the information or I need you to guide me into a certain direction or whatever the case is, that you like seriously.
You make it easy though, friend. Like you're welcome all the way around, but like there are just certain people that you meet them and you're like, oh, these are good people. Yeah. People you want to keep around. You know, you're humble, you're very transparent, but like in the open, when you joined the school, things changed. There were a couple families that when they joined, things changed, and you were always giving. You gave advice, whatever you knew and knowledge you shared, but you also gave us stuff, which is cool. I was getting these mystery boxes. What's in here? Oh my God, a giant hole puncher. We needed this.
The funny thing is, I didn't even know what was inside.
Yeah, there were mystery boxes.
No, you know what? That's God, and this needs to be our closing statement because you gotta go do your thing. But I had the opportunity where I received all of these school supplies. Yeah, and I didn't need the school supplies, but I just continuously ordered the school supplies because I said someone's going to need it. Yeah. So then I met you, and I was like, God was preparing me. Like that's the thing is when you're obedient in the spirit, it leads you down the path that wherever you need to be. Yeah.
Like you came in, it was like always bearing gifts. Like you did not receive somebody like, thank you so much, mystery box. Yeah, so I think it's been a great year. I look forward to next year for whatever you're bringing to the table as well. Yes. To the Naples Micro School and that knowledge after being on the road for 5 months. Yes. That would be great. I think that'd be something awesome to share.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to get you back on here because there's so many things that we could talk about. Like so many things that we just learned on the road, like headed to New Orleans, talking about bayous and learning what bayous and plateaus and mountains and miles. Like I was just talking, I was like, I know it sounds crazy. I'm 32 years old, but when it came to like miles,
the concept
of miles and distance, I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Right.
But when we got on the road, I understand what a 600-mile stretches.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I do. There's certain things you can only really fully comprehend through experience. So as much as we can, we give those kids their experiences. But place-based learning, eventually I would like Harmony to go on the road with you because those are the things she'll learn. But we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But you know what? Right now, Harmony is structured and she has good people around her.
Yeah, she's very disciplined.
I'm not taking her out of the structure. It's hard for me. I'm going to be very transparent. It was very hard for me. I've never left my daughter ever in my life. But it was hard for me as a mother to leave her here with her grandparents because I'm like, what are people going to think? I'm a bad mother. They see me on the road. But you got to put your ego aside and understand what's best.
Yeah, the benefit for her. And having that structure and the stability.
Right now, it's very, very, very important for her. Yeah. So I say, you know what, God, you see my heart. I know that you're around. I know my mom's around. Her parents are around.
Yeah.
I know that I only keep good people around me.
And at the end of the day, you have to do something for yourself right now. You've been single mom for all those years, and this was for yourself, and it wasn't selfish, but it definitely benefited you, and I think doing that only grew and bonded your relationship, and then it just helped you find a place of when we're better, our kids are better. And if you're in a good place, if you were just always yearning to do this journey but never did it, then you wouldn't be, that energy can be felt. So
thank you.
You made the right decision.
We have to go.
Bye.
Thank you. I'm gonna be on the land. I'm gonna take a few shots.